or there will be another spot ETF in North America. On top of that, President Trump talks about the Genius Act and the future of digital assets in the US. There is always something new to learn about XRP and Ripple, and Jay Claver drops a bomb on us and gives us a lot of other news. This is where you should be to stay up to date on XRP. Trump says that digital goods are the way of the future and that they will belong to our country. He thinks that the Genius Act will be passed by the House and sent to him right away. The Genius Act was just passed by a vote of 68 to 29 or 30. It now goes to the House of Representatives, and if they vote on it the way it is now, it will go straight to the president's desk. Before it even gets to the president's desk, any changes made by the House will need to be sent back to the Senate for one last vote. The world's derivatives market is already worth $4.00 quadrillion, and XRP is used as real-time security. The way we handle money now seems very old in comparison. You hold the plans for the future in your hands. We talk about this in our live shows in here. Having some of these digital goods is like having a piece of the money system of the future. We don't know what will happen next, how much value will be added to the chain, how fast it will happen, or which change will get all that value right away. There is only one thing we do know. This is a part of banks, central banks, credit, the infrastructure of financial markets around the world, credit unions, other financial institutions, and businesses all know that crypto is the way of the future and will help them make a lot of money. Next up is Ripple, and it's clear that their marketing team, I'd love to talk to someone on the Ripple marketing team. You guys do great work. Only people worth a lot of crypto can like this tweet. That's great, man. That's going to happen. Okay, what's up with a spot ETF? It doesn't matter who comes in first, second, or 15th for the XRP ETF. The first XRP spot ETF on the Toronto Stock Exchange is called XRPQ, which sounds like Q-tip, or XRPQQ, like that other one. Stock market investors in Canada will soon be able to put their money into cryptocurrencies like XRP spot ETFs. Q-tip was one of the first ETFs in North America to offer exposure to XRP. Ripple is smooth because it was one of the first investors in the fund. They're smooth, great. It's one thing to say you're building or helping the community. It's another thing to do it every day. I admire them for that. This is where the news comes in. This is an important rollout that adds to 3iQ's reputation as a reliable leader in bringing regulated first-to-market digital asset investment options to the market. Now, I think their team wrote this, so please don't believe me. I don't know how 3iQ came to be, but if you want to work for this company, you should do your research and talk to someone who can help you with money first. It's very important to know that it's about Ripple, which is a leader in blockchain solutions. And today is the first day that the 3iQ XRP ETF can be traded on the Toronto Stock Exchange. 3iQ is a company that helps people invest in digital assets. It's great that their 3iQ team will also ring the TSX floor's closing bell this afternoon, which will go to Karamika. That's it for this important start in North America. One of the first exchange traded funds, ETFs, that lets people buy XRP is XRPQ. Congratulations to our friends in Canada. That's great to hear. Some new information has come to light. Ripple took Alchemy Pay around the world. Visa holders in 173 countries can now use RLUSD. You can use Apple Pay and Google Pay for the most part. I wanted to put this paper into Perplexity and see if there was any other information I was missing that would help me give you more background. That's the main idea and gist of it. A big deal between Ripple and Alchemy Pay means that people will be able to buy their new safe coin, RLUSD, with a number of popular ways to pay fans of XRP. See this as a big step toward broad use of the coin in its ecosystem, which will make it easier for people. And we did talk about Visa and MasterCard as ways for businesses to get and use Alchemy Pay. People in your country can use Apple Pay and Google Pay to pay for things with their phones. This should work with almost every phone in the world, even ones that aren't made by Apple or Google. Of course, there are other brands and names out there, but let's find out how much of the cell phone market is made up of Apple and Google phone. Okay. There are a few more things we should know about this relationship or rollout with South Korea, such as the institutional move. Ripple and XDAS, which is spelled XDASC. Ripple has also teamed up with BDX. For banks and other institutions, the relationship with a regulated Korean crypto custody business means safe and legal access to RLUSD and XRP. The partnership's goal is to let big banks join XRP, which will make institutions more likely to believe and use it. That's a great question. Why does this matter? Users can now buy access with common forms of payment, which makes it easy for most people to use utility and access. People around the world may use and adopt XRP more if the partnership makes it easier for more people to access and use. Institutional trust. Now that there are solutions for institutional custody, banks and business investors may feel safer working with XRP and RLUSD. This could lead to more financial integration on a larger scale. Take a look. As you can see, it works with 173 fiat stores in 300 countries. To answer your question about how many Apple phones were sold, 55 million were sent out in the first quarter. That's not the number I wanted for the whole world. Did I not see it? After Apple, Google's phones made up 4% of all smartphones sold in the third quarter. The only brands that matter are Samsung and a big Chinese one. I wish you would, because Apple has 19% of the world's smartphone market and Google Pixels is nowhere to be found. The 4% of these numbers would be a lot more. I also get why that's making this clear. Ripple is set up to work with FedWire. This is an old file, but it's great that I can now load it into Perplexity and find some really cool information. Before I show you the papers, I wanted to make sure they were real. I've done this before, but this is a quick way for me to show you that they are real. They quickly talk about Ripple blockchain, ISO 2022, and a bunch of other things that are linked. Let's see if this is a real number. Did it teach me the same thing? Please tell me what number it is in the comments. It would be very helpful. We'll give you a document. The two pictures you sent look like scans and photos of Easton's school or advertising items in the first file. Easton's deal with FedWire and the Fed's switch to ISO standards are talked about in a data sheet for Easton's IMS payments business. The second file is the payment hub, which describes its features, benefits for banks and other financial institutions, and approved standards. The paper also uses details about the industry, consistent branding, and references to current technologies and standards like FedWire, Ripple, SEPA, and SWIFT.